guess I might have jumped the gun a little bit.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And just wanted to go ahead and pray us in, knowing and trusting that this is perfect timing, perfect divine appointment, that each and every one of us has answered the call to be here. Even if it was a struggle, the appearance of a struggle, that too was divine. And I give thanks for this time together, knowing that it is truly a divine appointment, and I give thanks, and so it is. Amen.
And so it is.
And so it is.
So how was heaven this week, these last 2 weeks since we saw each other last?
Good.
Good?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I was thinking about and also heard the talk from last 2 weeks ago, and it almost made me cry. I'm like, wow. And it was in the vulnerability and in the sharing. And as I was listening to that, and I thought, wow, what's the tool? What are the tools that we have available to us when we're on the journey, as we travel along and the hiccups show up in life? And what are the tools that we use? Last time we talked about prayer partners and having those around us that help hold the space and know the truth for us, know the truth of our being. And I was just wondering if between then and now, was there any tool or any idea that you have had since our last time together of how you bring yourself back to that present moment, that knowingness? And so I wanted to see if there was anything that you grounding. And how do you do that?
I run outside barefoot.
Okay.
If I have to, I lay on the ground.
Okay.
But I'm usually standing there, and I make a point of grounding and bringing in the light from the great central sun, which is part of the creator, and bring it through me into Mother Earth, and then I do treatment after I do that.
Nice. Anybody else?
Yeah, I also find lots of grounding in nature. And what I'll usually do is go out in the woods. And I love trees. I love trees. I love the smell of pine and spruce trees. I love how the sun glistens through the needles, especially if there's drops of water, it sparkles. And I also love the aspen trees here in Colorado, and how you can hear what I call the voice of God just whispering through the aspens, as well as the pine trees. It's just such a soothing sound that grounds me and brings me back to spirit. And then so I do that a lot. And when I'm in the city, I'll just go out for a walk, right? And then I just look at the trees.
Yeah.
I mean, I really look at them, or the bushes, or the flowers, or natural things, and I actually get some pleasure, but it's different from looking at, the different types of architecture. But also, I think I've said this to Reverend Sue Ellen, that lately I'm really working to bring into my life extended silent meditations.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that really grounds me.
Like, do you mean like days long or hours long, or?
Oh, hour.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
not hours, not hours, but
I'm like, you can come hang out at my house. I'm like, it's quiet. There's just the birds. It's quiet. Even the internet doesn't work. So
nice, very nice.
yeah, so you're welcome to come. Come.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. That's wonderful. Grounding with nature. Yes. Anybody else?
Well, for me, I often stop and mentally remind myself that all I have is the present moment. And how I'm grounding myself in the present moment is really what is important at that time.
Right.
But also, I'm fortunate enough to live in a small neighborhood in Oklahoma City that's, I call it like a little bit of country. We have a lot of trees and large acres that our houses are on, and it's quiet. So a lot of times I'll just go out in my backyard and watch the squirrels and the birds and listen to the wind blowing, but much like some of the rest of you, and listen to the wind blow through the trees and either sit on the ground or sit on a patio chair or even on my porch and just close my eyes and take a deep breath and feel that energy of nature in my neighborhood, or even take walks in my neighborhood. Because
Yes.
yeah, there's some traffic, not lots, but I find those as ways to ground me.
Right, right. And in the question, Reverend Lynn and Diane both use the word grounding to get grounded. My idea is, and those are great, is how do you get back to the present moment, to that place when we find oneself kind of slipping into the idea, that polar opposite of the experience of heaven on earth. And I know for myself, and I'm hearing, Reverend Lynn and Diane, I'm like, oh my God, you guys, I'm like, I got to tell myself, stop it. Like sometimes I will just say, stop it when I find myself going, because it's all my thoughts going into and it is wonderful to go outside, and I do the same, and I hear the howl. I love when I could, stand at the porch and I could hear the wind in the distance. I could hear it. And then as it comes and it moves the tops of the trees, and one of the tools that I have learned for myself is how quickly, Ernest Holmes says, how quickly can you go to the polar opposite of the experience that you do not want to experience? How quickly can you catch that thought? And I'm always,
Yes.
my thought is always, how quick can you catch that?
That's true. Oh, go ahead.
I can answer that too, is that grounding is my major thing. Or it's on my list of things actually, because I found myself today or this morning, my animals woke me up a number of times past 2 nights, and I just want to strangle them. But so I found myself being a little irritable this morning, and I would say, stop it. So I was doing that. But there are those times, and that might be the immediate thing, actually. Yeah, it's almost like snap, bring it back. But there is, and then I went outside and did my thing, because the idea of grounding to me is a physical experience of the treatment. They're intertwined, because that's the light of God. When I'm saying a prayer of God, I'm taking in the light and then the element of God in the grounding.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's beautiful. But and what I described, of course, I don't leave a meeting and go out into nature, right? So it depends upon the situation on how quickly I gotta go. But but what I do you know, when I was just sitting here thinking, I acknowledge God, right? And then then I know my oneness in God. And that always brings me back. So it's actually like, the first part of the spiritual mind treatment. Bam,
Mhm.
bam.
Yeah.
Bam, bam. Yes, bam, bam. When you said that, bam, bam, it reminded me of a time my mother landed in a car accident. And we saw the curve, the little curve where my niece went off the road. And a few years after that, I found myself going around a very sharp curve, those that you get off the freeway and it's almost a big U to get back to a road. And I remember one time I got on that and my car started fishtailing, and Diane, the idea of God, and all it was hand over hand trying to get the car in alignment, and it was just God, 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 God. So that thing that we take, that we grab to whatever it is that takes us right back to that place. Emmett Fox and it was one of the very first books that it was a booklet. I don't know if you're familiar with Emmett Fox. Emmett Fox is booklets. They're little tiny, like 3x4s or 3x5 books. And that was one of the very first books that I read, was The Golden Key. Matter of fact, that book took me on the search for more of this. And in that search, I found Ernest Holmes. But it's, what is it that takes you to God? What is that thing? The grounding, the trees, the air, that thing, and that stop it, that grab that dragon by the tail before it gets away and we go flipping and flopping out into this hang on to life, right? Reverend Sue Ellen, do you have a tool that you use?
I have a rocking chair.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
I have a rocking chair. And I go sit in the rocking chair and take a breath. And that's the start. It's just like, okay, I'm home. And then I use the rocking chair to meditate. I use the rocking chair to read. I use the rocking chair to converse with people, talk to people, chat, whatever. But I use the rocking chair.
The rocking chair. Nice.
It's not a grounding thing. When Lynn said something about going out and laying in the ground, I just started to itch.
Oh no, I'm so sorry.
I went to the ticks in the South. You don't just go lay in the ground, at least in my South.
That's just not my thing. Not my thing. I mean, I can go, but my bare feet in the grass, that would work. But then I'm standing there in the grass going, what the heck am I standing here for? I have never used it as a grounding thing. So I'm out of habit. I mean, I've not practiced it, so it doesn't work for me like that. On the other hand, I can sit in the rocker.
Yep.
Nice.
It's my base.
It's your base. And the rocker reminded me of that, typically kind of like, if you spot it, you got it. Kind of like that timeout, you go sit in the chair for timeout. And I have a bear. I have this bear that on his belly, he has the timer that you turn and it'll tick to so many minutes. And it's the timeout bear. And I'm guessing it was originally created to put children out for timeout, right? But it's my timeout bear to take timeout, and I'll set it for 20 minutes to dance. And so it'll be my recalibration. You need time out. Go time out and dance. Yeah. So those are all wonderful ways to get us back. Some of the other things that I don't remember too much Ernest Holmes, aside from going to your polar opposite, that he, gave us instructions like Emmett Fox, go to that thing that takes you to God. Go to that thing that takes you, whether it's a song, whether it's a prayer, whatever it is, going, what is it that takes you to God right there and right now? To have that as a tool. And with Science of Mind, we do, knowing that this too is God, no matter the appearance of that thing that's showing up. This too is God.
Yep.
I came up with a, and this was all part of an evolution, right? Life is an evolution. Things show up in our lives, and that thing shows up, and you say, "Oh, that's really grand," and then after a while, there's other ways that this thing is grand, and it has many more gifts than its first apparent gift, right? And so this is an invitation. Go scroll through your phones, have friends take pictures of you, like a nice picture of you, that, or you know how you could even take a selfie. I finally took a selfie of myself that I really like. And so
I never have.
Right? I'm a photographer. How many years have I been trying to get a selfie of myself that I really like? I did.
Good for you.
Practice makes perfect. We got to practice. Look for that side we like. So the tool of this photograph that I have, and it's not a photograph that I took, it's not the selfie photo, but it's a photo that I have with, I'm in a new relationship, and it was a dinner at some friends, and this friend took a picture, and she captured me in this way that was like, wow, that's what I look like kind of photo, right? Like, wow, look at that smile. I put that photo as my wallpaper of my telephone, right?
Wow.
And so the tool to that photo reminds me how I want to feel.
Oh.
Right? So the photograph, and the reason I say find a photo that you like how you were feeling at that time that image was taken. And every time you open your phone, and it's not a narcissist thing, it's the divine seeing itself. And this is the photo for me. This is how I want to feel. So whether I'm checking my phone for work, for pleasure, whatever it may be, I'm upset and I'm going to make that phone call. I could see this picture, and this is how I want to feel. And so if I could feel whatever it is that is out of harmony of that tone that I want to be, right? Because that thing that I want to feel is what I want to be. And as I be that, I see more of that in the world. And I see more of that because I am being that.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And as I am seeing it, them being that, then they see more as we see each other being that. Because this is all work that starts with the self.
Mm-hmm.
What we're seeing out there, what's coming back at us, whether we're looking, whatever it is that we're looking at.
Right. I agree
within.
with that statement, whatever it is that we're looking at, because I can do everything what you just said with a picture of something that I love, right? Doesn't have to be just me. I can look at my cute little puppy.
No.
And then I get these love sparkles in my body, and then I just feel that, right? And then I can
Yes.
see that, or I can look at a beautiful nature scene that I had previously been in, or groups of a family picture or friends. And
Yes.
so I do what you described, is start just using, I leverage pictures too.
Yes. And I guess, Diane, one of the things that for me, the difference with using a photo of myself was kind of my upbringing of don't look at yourself, don't see yourself. And so having that history of not being seen even by myself,
That's a good
that
point.
allows me to see me as the expression of the divine, that and it is a picture that it's like, wow, that's me. And I don't think that we look at, I believe, so there was also recently I saw this small video, and it was on toxic, like sometimes you don't know whether they love you or not, right? That whether, oh, huh, does he really like me, or does she really like me, or and you do this wishy-washy feeling tone, right? And what I came to realize after, like, I watched that and processed that, it was also like the idea of what we're taught, like this, there's that poem where you pick the daisy, he loves me not, he loves me not. And I was thinking, was that the beginning of this toxic relationships, that somebody just didn't know whether this person loved them or not because they were in this thing. So I think there's more areas in life where we're not encouraged to see ourselves as we're the divine expression of beauty, as the flower is, as the tree, as an expression of life. And so I think that's one area of using a photo of oneself that evokes or sparks or reminds oneself of that spark essence of what the world sees, that we may not see or even recognize it. Like, I look at that picture, I don't recognize it as me. And so to get comfortable and to love oneself, and that really is what it boils down to, is to be able to recognize myself and to see myself. And Reverend, actually, it's Brother Ishmael Tate. I don't know if you're familiar with him. He's been to East Bay Church of Religious Science, and I've had the opportunity to see him a number of times. I don't know, are any of you familiar with Brother Ishmael Tate?
It sounds familiar.
I've heard the name,
No.
but
Yeah, the name
No.
sounds familiar.
He had us do this exercise, and it was very powerful for me. And I've shared it. Oh my God, I don't even think I was a practitioner when I learned this exercise. I was still in the pre-prac classes. And it's like you turn to someone. We did it in a setting. We were at church, so it was, you turn to people, but here we can just we can see our own reflection. Every time we see a reflection of ourselves, we say, welcome home. I am the love that I seek.
Oh, I love that.
So go ahead and take a look at your reflection. You could probably see it on your phone or your screen or something. And let's say, welcome home. I am the love that I seek. Ready? Welcome home.
I am the love that I see.
Yeah, that I seek.
And speak.
No, SEEK. That I
seek.
I am
I'm sorry.
I am I am the love that I see, that I seek, that I am. Yeah, we could change the words too, but that is something that he taught. And every time you see your reflection, you see we pass our reflection so many times.
Mhm.
And it's welcome home. I am the love that I seek.
And what's his name again? What's his last name?
Tay.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness, this man, when you get a hug from him, you're at church and you give everybody hugs. You get this bear hug. He gets you and he bam. Miss, welcome home. I am the love that I seek, and we all
Nice.
get those same kind of
Oh, I
hugs.
love that. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a really nice tool. And I guess it's like these are ways that I have found to uplift myself and to help others uplift. There's in science of mind, it's really important the words that we choose to use, right? And this last week, I was having a conversation with this young woman, and she was talking about how the type of spoiling that the children get when they go to dad's house, and then the recalibration when they get to mom's, and that mom also admitted that she spoils them as well, but she spoils them differently. And so I thought about that word and how we use our words, and when something is spoiled, it's rotten, right? But if something is loved up, like if mom is saying, I spoil them, but I spoil them different, this is what I do. And I'm like, well, that sounds like you're loving them up, not spoiling them. So even in the smallest things that we're not accustomed to, there's like this meaning to the words that we're choosing to use. Anyway, I was curious. Reverend Sue Ellen, do you have anything you'd like to say?
No.
No. For some reason, I was thinking, I didn't hear much from you.
Nope, don't have much to say today.
You don't? Okay.
I'm making notes.
You're making
So,
it okay.
Yeah. I like being loved up.
You like
Who
I love
doesn't like being loved up?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think you know, you looking at those things in a way that are the words, and that's what our philosophy is. It's the words that we're using, the vibrational tone, that thing that we want to be. That we want to be. Yeah. Anything else anybody wants to add, or any thoughts from heaven? I'm sorry.
I will share a tool that I was taught many years ago from one of the very first kind of spiritual people I sat with. And she was still working in the corporate world. And I thought of Diane when she said she can't go out and ground when she's in a meeting. But she said she would go into when things would get really frustrating, she would go into the ladies' room and she would scream into the palm of her hand as loud as she could. And and she said it would break up the energy that she was holding in, because when you're sitting in the meetings, or really kind of in any situation, and something's got you and it's got a hold of you, you do that and it kind of breaks up your energy. And when I do it, it is interesting. It does all of a sudden relax me immediately, or, because it tires you really when you do it really. I only scream hard into your hand and it's not going anywhere really, but
A silent scream
disperses the energy.
hand, right? It's a silent scream, right?
No.
Oh, she really did let it
Oh
all
yeah.
out.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Let it
okay.
out, baby, but
Oh.
into your hand. So you're not
Oh.
like doing a blood curdling scream for
Oh.
everybody, because it does muffle it because you're screaming into your hand. But
Oh,
let
okay.
the air out, let the energy out, and it's that physical release. And then, again, it's one of those things that kind of shifts you immediately. So then you can like be in the place all of a sudden here, right here, to do the prayer, to do the treatment.
That's a good idea too.
Stuart Wilde always said,
Oh, I
whenever
like
you couldn't find yourself, touch something in front of you, and it brings you right back into your body.
Ah, yeah.
Same kind of thing. It's very hard for me. I've got so much going on around me at times. It's very hard for me to see the forest for the trees and to do a treatment for myself if I'm not present, which maybe that's for others as well. And each of those kinds of things, I use that physical stuff to bring me present, and then I can find where I need to be and do my treatment.
Yes. 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 There's the one tool that I have found useful, and I actually shared this one with someone this weekend, is when you go potty. You know, when you're going potty, that at that same time, that's removing toxins from the body, right?
Mhm.
That's everything that's used that no longer serves, that is ready to be transformed, transmuted, and transcended, is moving out of the body temple. It has moved out, and being grateful for all that no longer serves.
Right.
The memory cells, everything, moving it all out.
Mhm.
And being thankful that it is moving out of the body, whatever it may be. Out.
Yep.
Out.
Out, damn spot.
Be gone.
Right? Yes.
Mhm.
Cool. Very
Any
cool.
other tools that anyone wants to share?
I think I'm mute. Whoops.
Oh, I can't hear you.
Can't hear you, Sue Ellen.
Okay, I saw a video, one of my doolies, last set of people that I managed to figure out how to watch. But one of the channels, these are 6 people that channel different entities. And one of them says, good now. Not good morning, not good day, good now. Now is really all there is.
Yeah.
Right?
And I thought, that is really so true.
Right.
Okay, good now.
I love that.
Mhm.
So, it's a
Excellent.
reminder to be in the present zone, in the present
Yes,
time.
yes, that's all we have.
Yep.
Yes. Yes. That reminds me that people say, oh, have a good day. And I'll respond to them and say, you have a good life.
Mhm.
It's not just this, but have a good life. Enjoy your life. Oh,
People are thinking that far along.
yeah, no, right. They're being present.
Have a good present moment.
Just for now. We don't want to talk about life.
If I can figure out now, I can trust that life will be okay.
Yes.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then one thing I want to one more tool is the gratitude that we feel. So, how often there's that you need something or you want something and that thing shows up.
Mm-hmm.
And just being really, really grateful in that place. And I love the thank you, ha, 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 when by myself, when that thing shows up, the pair of shoes that I was looking for are right here. Ha, 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 thank you. But just being in that place of gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, always in gratitude.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So what I would like to do is go ahead, and I am going to do our Inner Journey tithing. And the number for Inner Journey tithing is 405-337-9739. And the drop-down box name is Harmony. And I am going to do a treatment, do a treatment for us. And what I would like to do is, in our affirmative part of the treatment, I am going to pass. And if you would like to, say something and then pass it. And if you didn't want to say anything, just go ahead and pass. But we're at the summer solstice. This is the, we hit the mid-year.
Hmm?
We're at mid-year, right?
Yes.
So they're just blessing our journey forward, our view of heaven on earth. And I am just joyed and grateful beyond measure to have this time with you, knowing and trusting that this time together is a divine appointment. It is an appointment that is perfect, divine. Never again will we meet on this summer solstice evening. This is the midpoint of 2024. And right here and right now, I claim and affirm that this midpoint that we are experiencing is the divine presence of God. That every aspect of it is God. And as we move through the rest of this year, the rest of our lifetime here on the planet, expressing the divine, knowing and trusting that the divine is always right here, right now, that we are in the kingdom of heaven. I claim and affirm that we let go of everything and anything that no longer serves, that we allow that transformation, that transcending of our gifts and talents to move forward with ease and grace and compassion effortlessly for ourselves, first and foremost. And as we have that compassion for ourselves, we allow that grace to flow forth from those we encounter. And I claim and affirm that we see the divine grace in ourselves. We see the divine beauty, that we see the divine idea, that we feel the divine idea, that we know that we are the divine idea in expression, expressing life as only we can. That this is our gift to the world, that we are it. And I pass.
I know that right here, that the presence of the divine, the presence of that creator is all that there is. And I know that in every moment of a daily human's life, there are the ups and downs and those moments of going sideways, one to the other. And it is easy to bring the self back to the present moment with God right here, because God is always present, that great divine, always right here within us, around us. It is everything, and patiently waits for us to come back to the present moment and back to ourselves, acknowledging that all is always in divine order. And I claim that divine activity in every moment so that my life stays in perfect harmony with the universe and with my soul path and with all that is happening, that I am in that best moment, in that best activity. And I know that for every individual listening. And I pass.
And staying in this present moment, I recognize the divine. And I am absolutely grateful for all of the good that's unfolding through each and every one of us here as God. Knowing that the divine moves through us, moves through me, moves through each of us in ways that are miraculous. And so my heart is full of love and joy and oh so much gratitude. And I pass.
I
I
know
am
that.
Oh, go ahead, Diane.
No, it's okay. Go ahead, Mary Lee.
I am the divine love that I seek. And I am so grateful for the knowingness that I am enough. There is enough. I am an individualization of that glorious, wonderful God presence that is in and as and through everything. And there, I know there is always enough. All is conspiring for my good, for the good of everyone here, for our highest and very best. There is absolutely nothing that we cannot undertake with joy, in love, and in gratitude that won't emerge and won't come about for our highest and best, for us, for the world, and that we are so blessed to have the gifts of our love, our companionship, our allness, our beingness. And in that knowing, in that joy, in that sense of gratitude, I pass.
It is so beautiful. And love is all around. Love is just all around. Love is all around me, all around each of you, all around everyone. Love is all around, and love is always present, always knowing, always supporting. And I know this. I know this. I know that love is all around, and love is spirit. And all I need to do, and all each of us we need to do, is to simply fall into that love. Breathe in that love. Every time I breathe, that love spreads all within me, around me, through me, in and around everyone. For love is all around, always and forever. And I pass.
And I know that these words that have been spoken go forth and they do not return void, but they are complete in the matter for which they are sent. And they are sent knowing the truth, knowing that the word goes forth and it is done. And I give thanks. I give thanks. And I say, thank you, Father, Mother, God. And so it is. Amen.
So it
Amen.
is.
So it is.
Yay.
No, it is.
Thank you. Mwah. I love you.
That was nice.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Yes, that was lovely, Susan.
Thank you. Good night.